Hi, I'm Lisa Vratny-Smith. Welcome to Saturday Morning Yoga. Today's practice, we will be focusing on the second chakra, the hip area, and the practice will be based on the practice in this book by Anodea Judith, Chakra Yoga. And again, it's focusing on the second chakra. I hope you enjoy. All right. There we go. Let's find our comfortable seat, having a pillow or blanket underneath our hips, bringing our pelvis tilt forward and lifting our spine. And we'll begin with rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. And take the fingertips and gently brush them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks. And bringing the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hand down, either keeping your eyes closed or gazing softly downward. Send your spine up tall, shoulders back and down. Lift your heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Take another deep breath in. Oh. 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 Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning and set an intention for your practice, something you like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhale, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the side. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and opening, contracting and relaxing. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, excuse me, expanding the lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. Take one more full, complete breath. And when you reach the end of the exhale, return to your natural breath. Let's move into the Kapalabhati breath today. I am feeling a little phlegmy, as you can hear my voice, and that can be a lot of kapha energy that is associated with spring. And the Kapalabhati breath kind of helps to create a little fire and clear out some of that extra moisture and heaviness in our bodies. So we'll see if that will help. So the Kapalabhati breath is that breath where we're inhaling in and out through the nose, but with the exhale, we use the abdominal muscles to force the air out. So it sounds like. So do it at a speed that works comfortably for you. You can do it very slowly. You can move it up a little faster, but do what feels right for you, making sure you're getting enough oxygen in with your inhale so that you don't get lightheaded. And make sure you're sitting. So we'll take a breath in and out. And another breath in and begin. And take another breath in and out. And return to your natural breath. And notice how you feel. I always feel a cooling sensation through my sinuses and the top of my head. The other name for Kapalabhati is skull shining, and I think that's probably where that comes from. All right. Let's see, bringing our awareness to our right hand, allowing the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. We'll bring those fingertips to our heart center. Turning our attention deeper inward toward the heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down. Let's gently switch our legs or change positions as needed. While we're going to be focusing on second chakra mostly, we'll get our spine and shoulders and everything warmed up to begin with. So with your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. Exhale, pressing the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Once more, lift and squeeze. And back and down. With your, let's bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tuck the shoulder blades back and down. Lift the heart. Gently strengthening the scapula, drawing those shoulder blades down, holding them in their place. Then we'll press the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart, gently squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, bringing out any stress or tension. Opening the arms wide, turning the palms up, lift the heart a little more, draw the shoulder blades back and down. If it feels okay, press into the palms, flexing the wrists, and think about drawing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. Breathing into the heart. And we'll bring the arms forward, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Draw the chin gently back toward the throat and soften the jaw. Breathing into the upper back. As it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows. And with your next inhale, if it feels okay, lift the elbows a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, round, dropping the chin, releasing the back of the neck and the upper back. And then with your next inhale, lift up tall. Unwrapping the arms, pressing the palms out. Tucking those shoulder blades down, lifting the heart. We'll bring the arms in front, left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the chin back toward the throat and soften the jaw. Breathing into the upper back as you squeeze the arms or push the elbows away. And then as it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows. And with your next inhale, lifting those elbows a little higher, gently arching. And exhale, rounding the spine, dropping the chin. Breathing into the back. With your next inhale, come back to center. We'll unwrap the arms, extending them out to the sides. Make some circles with the wrists. And reverse those. Bring the hands to the heart, interlacing the fingers, palms pressing out. Roll the shoulders forward, round the spine, drop the chin. With your next inhale, lift the palms up over the head, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, leave the chin up. Leave the palms up, dropping the chin. Soften the elbows. Roll the shoulder blades back toward each other, squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades together, bringing out any tension across the shoulders and into the neck. And if it feels okay, press through the palms, softening the jaw and the back of the neck a little more. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, float the hands down. Let's bring that left knee to the right. And if you'd like to have a block or something under the knee or hip for support, or if you would like your legs a little wider apart for more stability, please do what feels right for you today. Inhale the hands up over the head, interlacing the fingers. Exhale, dropping that left elbow toward the ankles. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. And exhale, reach. Hold and breathe. Dropping that right hip, lifting the heart, reaching through the right elbow. Breathing into the side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, float the hands down, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the right, head comes around left. Lifting and twisting with the breath. And with your next inhale, come back to the center and let the breath go. Let's switch our legs. So we'll sit on that left hip, feet to the right. Again, knees together, or having something underneath the knee, or spreading the knees a little wider for stability. Always feels weird to me sitting on the opposite side for 20 years. All right, with your next inhale, bring the hands up behind your head, interlacing the fingers. And as you exhale, right elbow toward the right ankle. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. And exhale, reach. Dropping that left hip toward the mat. Right, left elbow reaches up toward the sky. Breathe into the side of the body. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, float the hands down, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the right. Nope, left. Head comes around left. Lifting the heart with your inhale, gently twisting with your exhale. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. And let the breath go. So we will come off of our blankets or pillows. And as we shift into focusing on the second chakra, we will do quite a bit of work on our back. So coming to the center of your mat, knees bent, we're going to roll the spine and gently roll back. Or sorry, round the spine and roll back. Let's go ahead and we'll bend the knees, feet resting gently on the floor, softening the shoulders. We'll begin with some pelvic tilt. Taking a deep breath in. With your next exhale, tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat, drawing the belly muscles down. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Right where you're feeling that engagement, just below the lower belly button, or the belly button, that's where that second chakra is. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Let's tuck one more time. Inhale, release. And let the breath go. Then we're going to walk our feet a little wider out to the edges of the mat and gently windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other. Beginning to see how the hip joints are feeling, warming them up. We hold a lot of our creativity, passion, sensuality in our hips, in our second chakra. They can get tight and stiff and kind of block those feelings and experiences. So helping to tap into the second chakra and loosen up the physical area as well as work with the energy can be really helpful for us. And we'll come back to the center. Walk the feet together. And we're going to drop the knees out to the side in Superbada Kanasana. So the soles of the feet are touching, knees are resting out to the side. We'll hold this for a couple of minutes. If for any reason this is not feeling good, it feels too intense for you, you can also grab your blocks and rest the blocks underneath the knees or thighs to offer that support. You could also extend the legs out a little further so that it's, again, not quite as intense of an angle. So taking a few breaths here. If you'd like, you can envision the orange color of the second chakra. Breathing it in and out from the front of the body to the back of the body. Seeing if you can sense any imbalance and find that balance through the breath. And let's bend the knees back together. You can lift them with the hands on the outside of the thighs if that feels good. If you were using blocks, go ahead and move those. We'll bring the knees over the torso, hands on the knees or hugging in. Can rock from side to side or make small circles with the low back. Really tuning in to any of the physical sensations you're experiencing, and also what thoughts and emotions might be arising. And then coming back to the center, we'll spread the knees wide, flipping the hands either underneath the thighs, underneath the knees, or reaching the arms between the legs, taking hold of the arches of the feet. From either position, bring the soles of the feet to face the ceiling. Coming into Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Softening through the hips, knees easing out to the sides as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the neck, softening the shoulders. Relax the muscles of the face. And surrender into Ananda Balasana. I was teaching this pose to kindergartners this week, and the whole room filled with laughter and giggles as they rested in happy baby pose. It was a lot of fun. And then let's lower the feet down, bring the knees back together, and we'll lower the feet to the floor. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. You can rest here, gently pressing that right knee out to the side. Or if it feels okay, you could lift the left foot off the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently drawing the left knee toward the body. Lengthening through the neck, softening the shoulders, breathing into that right hip. And keeping that right foot gently flexed to protect the ankle. And we'll release that leg, bringing the right foot back to the floor. Crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Again, gently pressing that left knee out to the side if that feels good, or if it feels okay, lifting the right foot off the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Gently flexing that left foot to protect the ankle as you draw the right knee toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Breathing into the left hip. Gently letting go. And then gently releasing, bringing the feet back to the floor. We'll extend the arms out to a T, extending the left leg. We'll lift the right foot off of the floor and gently twist over the left side of the body. Foot comes across toward the floor as the right hip lifts off of the mat. Vision toward the right arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. Come back to the center, lowering the right leg down, bending the left knee. We'll inhale, lifting that foot off of the floor, and exhale, gently twisting across the right side of the body. Vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip. And easing the spine into the twist. With your next inhale, come back to the center. Bending both knees. For our next posture, we're going to need space on either side of the body to extend the legs. So I'm actually going to turn so that my hips are in the center of the length of my mat, and I can reach either side. So depending on the space in your room, you may be fine where you are. We're going to extend our legs up to the sky. And while we're here, let's take a minute to gently point and flex, releasing front and the back of the legs. And let's make some circles with our ankles. And then reverse those. All right, reaching up to the heels. We're going to gently spread the legs wide, just as far as feels comfortable. And then we're going to gently twist by bringing the left foot to meet the right and dropping them to the side. Inhale back to the center with the wide legs, and then tilting and twisting over to the left. So you can imagine you're painting a rainbow with your feet, perhaps. One leg and then the other as they move from one side to the other. And find your own rhythm with your breath. Let's do once more on each side. And then come back to the center with the legs nice and wide for a couple of breaths. Then taking hold behind the knees, we'll bring the legs together, hugging the knees into the torso. From here, you can either roll to your side, pressing yourself up, Or you can slip the hands behind the knees, kick the feet over the head, and gently rock up. We'll meet in Baddha Kanasana with the soles of the feet together. Lengthening the spine up tall. If you'd like to add the blanket under your hips for this, well, feel free if you feel like your hips are kind of, your pelvis is rolling back. It's a good way to help you get that extension. So hands can be at the feet or ankles, whatever feels right for you, lengthening the spine. Sinking into the sitting bones. We'll take a moment to press the feet together. Notice how that engages the inner quad muscles. And then we'll release that and engage the outer hips to draw the knees down. Lifting the heart. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, begin to hinge at the hips, extending the torso out over the feet just as far as feels okay. To begin with, we'll work with that nice long spine. Breathing into the inner groin muscles. Anywhere you're feeling that tightness or tension. And then if it feels okay, you can release the spine, rounding down. Releasing through the back of the neck and the shoulders. Notice how the posture changes. And again, as you hold in this position, if you'd like to envision that orange light of the second chakra gently flowing back and forth, finding its balance. With your next inhale, we'll roll the spine up, shoulders back and down. And let's extend our legs out nice and wide. Again, just as far as feels comfortable for your body. Sometimes the extension doesn't feel good for your knees. You can always add a blanket or block underneath the knees if that feels better. Lengthening the spine up tall, we'll bring the hands to the center and just gently begin to walk the fingers out. Just as we did in Baddha Konasana, lengthening with a long spine. Stopping where you feel that tightness or tension. I like to lift a heel and stretch it out and then do the other one. Pressing the hips out behind me. And again, having that blanket underneath to help tilt the pelvis forward if you like. With your exhale, if it feels okay, you can soften a little bit more. If you'd like, you can also add a block, resting the forehead on it, and whatever height feels good for you. Sometimes that can help us release the neck and let go a little more through the hips and the thighs. With your next inhale, we'll begin walking the hands back toward the center. If you'd like to use a strap, you can wrap that around the right foot. We're going to turn our torso to face the thigh. So you can either place your hands on either side of the leg or use the strap. Lengthening the spine up. And with your exhale, hinging at the hips, again, folding over just as far as feels okay. Finding that edge, stopping there, gently softening around it. With your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll release that strap if you're using it and put it onto the left foot. You can also place the hands on either side of that left leg, turning the torso to face the thigh. Lengthening up through the spine, pressing away through the heel. And again, as you exhale, hinging at the hips, gently beginning to tilt forward. Lengthening and softening. And with your next inhale, lift up tall, releasing the strap. And let's come forward into the center one more time. And walking those hands out as far as feels comfortable. Noticing what might be the same or different this time. And again, adding the block to support the head if you would like. Allowing the body to really release into the posture. Letting go of effort. And allowing yourself to be as you are right now. And then gently walking the hands back to the center. We will shift into fire log. So we're going to bring those knees back together. Give our inner groin a little rest. And then we're going to work with stacking the ankles and knees. So feel free to add a block or a blanket underneath or in between the ankle and knee for support. And if it just doesn't feel right today, work with a cross-legged position. Flexing the feet helps to protect the ankles just as we did in our cross floor. So lengthening the spine, shoulders are back and down. Think about letting the sitting bones sink into the floor. So we've been kind of opening through the inner groin. This time we're going to be working on those outer hips. So this might be enough intensity for you. And if it feels okay, like you could take a little more, you can gently tilt the pelvis forward. Again, having the blanket, which I think I'm going to add now, underneath the hips to help tilting that pelvis forward can help as well. And again, walking the hands in front if it feels all right. You can also add that block there, even just to have the something to rest the wrists on, putting that again at whatever height feels right for you. Letting the hips sink back into the floor or blanket. Breathing in and out of that second chakra. Clearing out anything that no longer serves you. Any messages about your creativity, femininity, or sensuality that don't fit who you are, that you may have been given by someone else or may have picked up from society. Letting that release through the breath. And we'll gently lift back up. Let's unwrap those legs, place the feet on the floor, and let's do a little windshield wiper to get some of the blood flowing back in there. And then we'll come back into fire log, switching the legs. And you may again notice a difference on this side. You might need a blanket or block underneath the knee. It might feel easier or more challenging one side to the other. Lengthening the spine up tall, letting the sitting bones sink into the blanket or mat. Noticing where you can let go in the hips. And either staying here or if it feels okay, again, tilting the pelvis forward. Walking the hands out in front of you. You can rest the hands on the block or that forearms on the block. If it feels okay, you could drop the head. Noticing those little edges of where you can let go. Releasing through the breath without forcing. Allowing gentleness and ease to be your guide. And then we'll gently walk back to the center. We'll unwrap those legs. Again, a little windshield wiper. And then, take off my socks now. Let's come forward onto our feet and coming into a forward fold. So bringing our feet hip-width apart. If you would like a block under your hands, you can do that. Pressing the feet down, softening the knees, lifting up through the sitting bones. Nice long spine. Allowing the knees to stay soft. And as it feels okay, you can fold over. Releasing a little more. Letting the spine lengthen. Pushing into the feet. Tilting the sitting bones up gently toward the sky. One more breath. We'll move the block and gently walk the hands out, coming into downward dog. Softening the knees, reaching the hips behind us. Shoulder blades roll back toward each other, externally rotating the arms. Neck is nice and long with the chin gently away from the chest. Let the heels gently drop down as much as feels okay without locking the knees. One more breath. Let's lower the knees down and have your blocks available if you would like. Oops, sorry, my foot came over me. We're going to step forward with our right foot. Bringing that back knee, left knee back as far as feels comfortable. Right knee stacked over that left ankle. Bottom of my foot was cramping a little, so I'm going to stretch that a little. All right. So you can stay here with the hands on the blocks, thinking about pressing that right hip back, left hip forward, softening through the front of the hips. And if it feels okay, you could lift the arms up over the head. You could also bring the elbows out to cactus. And finding a position where you can hold for a moment. And we'll bring the hands back to the blocks or floor. And we're going to then place our hands on the inside of the right foot. You could also do that onto blocks if you would like. Tucking the toes of the back foot under. If you can either leave the knee down or lift the knee off of the floor. And then if it feels okay, you could come onto forearms, either on the blocks or on the floor. And if it feels okay, you can let that right knee fall out to the side, resting on the outer edge of the foot. Bringing the right foot back to the mat, dropping that left knee. We'll move our blocks for a moment, placing both hands on the floor. Wrap that right leg back. Coming with the toes tucked under, pressing into downward dog. Soft knees, reaching back through the hips, rolling the shoulders back, softening through the heels. And then gently dropping our knees back to the mat. Grabbing those blocks if you would like. And we'll step forward with the left foot. So left knee stacks over the left ankle, lifting that right knee and bringing it back just as far as feels okay. And curling the toes if that feels all right. Right hip forward, left hip back as you soften through the front of the right hip. Heart is lifted. Gently letting go. Releasing that ilial psoas muscle. You can stay here, or again, if it feels okay, pressing into that left foot, lifting the arms up over the head, or tucking the elbows back into cactus pose. Lengthening through the spine. And then we'll float the hands back down. Bringing the hands on the inside of the left foot. Again, you can bring them onto the mat or onto blocks. Tucking the back foot toes under. You could lift the knee off the floor if that feels okay. You could stay here or come onto forearms, either on the blocks or the mat. And you could stay here or drop the left knee out to the side, resting on the outer edge of the foot. Noticing where you can let go in the hips. Bringing the left foot back to the mat, dropping the knee, hands back to the floor. We'll move the blocks. Stepping that left leg back to meet the right. Once more into downward dog. Softening through the heels. Rotating the shoulders back toward each other. And then we'll bring the knees down. We're going to work with swan pose, or sometimes it's called hanging cobra as well. So we'll start in child's pose with the knees a little bit wide and the hips up a little bit. So arms are extended out, forehead down. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, we're going to slide through onto our bellies and then lift the chest and shoulders. Feet are in the air, so the hips are kind of hanging down. Inhale, rocking back into our child's pose version that worked for your knees today. Exhale, sliding forward. Lifting the heart, shoulders tuck it back, dropping the hips. And inhale once more. Coming back into child's pose. You'll notice you're moving back on your mat. Exhale, pressing through. Lifting this time, we'll hold and breathe. Shoulders back and down. Dropping those hips. And we'll come back into child's pose. Resting in child's pose or reclined puppy, whatever feels right for you. Breathing into the spine, creating space between the vertebrae. And then let's shift back onto our hands and knees. You may need to recenter yourself on your mat. And we'll move into sleeping pigeon. So we'll start with the right leg, bringing that right knee forward, dropping the right hip down. Can add a block or blanket underneath that right hip for support. Ooh, that left foot just really cramping today. I think I need to eat a banana. Your foot can be at whatever angle feels right for you. So I'm going to switch directions so you can see a little better. There we go. So you can have the foot all the way out of that right angle, which is pretty intense and not super comfortable. Or you can have it in the center or all the way in toward the groin. And if you would like to have your blocks for support here as well, just as we did in the earlier postures, as we fold over, you could rest on the blocks if you would like, just adding a little extra support. It's okay if you want to drop your head down. And if it feels okay to be all the way onto the floor, you can do that as well. Finding that position that feels right for you. Breathing into the right hip. Releasing through the front of the left. And then gently pressing into the hands. And bring the hands onto the floor, toes tucked under. We'll step back with the right leg. Quick downward dog. And step forward with the left, coming into sleeping pigeon on this side. So again, bringing that left leg to whatever angle feels right for you. Adding the block or blanket underneath the hip for support if your hip isn't able to go down. That way you can release into the pose without feeling like you're having to hold yourself up. Lifting the spine tall, lengthening out. And when you're ready, gently folding over. Again, onto the blocks or floor. Breathing into the left hip, gently letting go. Softening to the front of the right hip. And then with your next inhale, pressing into the hands. Let's do one last downward dog, stretching that out. And then coming back to our knees. We'll come back to our seat and we'll prepare for relaxation. So if you would like, you can do a regular Shavasana, or if you would like to do a supported Superbada Kanasana, you can do that. So a couple different ways to do that. You could take the strap, having it looped and wrapping it around the back and around the knees, and having that be the support for you. Or you could also use the blocks underneath the knees as well. So once you get your feet set, or legs up. And you can gently roll onto your back, tucking the shoulders under, arms slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Sometimes it can be nice to have a little weight on the lower torso, on that second, third chakra area, just to help you feel grounded. So if you want to put a blanket or pillow or something on the belly, you can do that as well. Finding a place, a position where you feel supported, where you can find ease and rest. Arms are slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Tucking the shoulders back and down. Relaxing the forehead. Softening your eyes. Loosening your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Take a moment to check in one last time with that second chakra energy. Allowing the breath to help find its balance in its center. If you would like to receive Reiki through the rest of Shavasana, please open yourself to receive that now. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center. Reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself. Sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body. Honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring your hands to the outside of the thighs, bringing the knees back together. When you're ready, gently roll to your side, resting there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, and for ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me today.